Hi, Zizaran here with another video, and this is going to be talking about my League Starter build, but we don't have the skill tree yet, and we don't have a lot of info. Hopefully we get some sort of info before launch so I can post some sort of emergency video with a bit more. But yeah, there's just not that much that we have yet, so I do want to, like I said, have some heavy disclaimers here. I do know there is a lot of full build guides out there, but I would say be very careful what you're looking at and copying before skill trees out, because a lot of people are saying things that are going to be the best build ever, which we have no idea. For this build, I think it's a relatively safe bet, but at the end of the day, I have no idea. Crossbows do look really decent. Obviously, nothing was really nerfed there, and it's a bit buffed in the way that we can now use a separate weapon swap without changing the weapon. So we can use like different skill trees, but keep the same weapon. So that is very strong. Means that you don't have to find two good crossbows. Very excited about that. Especially now that we can have so many of the same gem, we're able to really use that, and we're able to use the scatter shot. I always think LMP. Scatter shot on so many different skills that'll help our single target a lot. So a cool thing with what I'm hoping to do is we can probably do a lot of self-shooting plus mortars for backup DPS. And there's some ideas I want to try out. Like I would like to try gas grenades, and then I'm firing a fire attack myself, or scaling fire. And the mortars are just, you know, supplementing with gas, and we're exploding that the second they come out. So I think that has a lot of potential. I think just crossbows on their own should be really strong. So I don't even know if we'll necessarily need to do a full totem build. I want to show, I've been thinking about this in Notepad a little bit. So obviously the ascendancies we were looking at was Deadeye, Tactician. Eminently Legionnaire just doesn't really give that much. So I was like, no. Titan, obviously just very flexible. Probably the most flexible ascendancy. Warbringer does look decent too, and does get quite a lot. It would probably be like Tactician with Warbringer being my second choice. Smithy Katava, a bit of a joke right now in my opinion. And there could be something with Pathfinder, honestly. I don't know. And then Deadeye, obviously very solid, and it's gonna have so many like backup skills and transitions. I do think Tactician and Deadeye will probably be the two most played things, I would suspect. But again, this is all speculation. It's literally all speculation. We really don't know. I wish I had more info to give you. Deadeye obviously gets you either point blank or far shot. Now, I can't remember exactly how that worked with totems, if it's from the distance from your totem to the target or from me to the target. And it gets +1 projectile, you get tailwind, and all this stuff is very good. And it's in a good position on the tree. The bottom right of the tree is what's getting the most amount of changes. So another reason for why I can't have a solid tree yet, but I am going to show you a little bit of what I've been thinking about. Tactician gets really good crowd control. We get like the immobilize, we get pin, and then that pin targets can't do anything. Gas grenade with incendiary shot and cannons ready is something I'm hoping to do. Cannons ready is... where did he go? Totems only use skills when you fire an attack projectile, and you get +1 totem. It's clunky. We have that in PoE1, and it doesn't always feel good to use. But I think with gas grenade and a fire skill, it might be okay. Especially if your main damage is not your totems. I think if it's your main damage, then you really want them firing on their own. But we have some options there. Obviously, Banner is getting a huge rework, and it's going to be a massive change. And it looks like, even without being able to generate it reliably by hitting ourselves, which we still might be able to hit ourselves, but let's say that it's just passive generation, it looks like we can have really high uptime on that. We also do have the option of a second totem. So we're not able to use the tech that I used before. Talk a little bit about that real quick. But we were able to get a large totem as an extra. So I want to make sure that people know that this is tech that is going away. I have 2 artillery ballistas, and with this, I basically get to put 3 of my regular one, which has full damage supports, and I get a second large one. Now we can use part of this tech, and the way this works is obviously this is what's going away. I will no longer be able to have 2 of the same gems. I won't be able to have 2 mortars, right? Of any kind, I think. But we are able to have a second totem, so that will be really interesting. So the way this works currently is with 2 artillery ballistas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have, let's say, artillery ballistas, and then maybe shockwave totem or something, because the new node for cannons ready, or maybe it's the thing behind it, is that it gives different aura bonuses based on the totem you place. So you could either get like 50% increased damage, on top of the 15% more damage from the mortar, or 30% AoE. So there's some really cool things there. Obviously AoE has some real big potential with huge overlap, and AoE scaling has been really good. And yeah, Titan obviously decent, but yeah, I'm not 100% sold. Skill tree wise, what I've been doing, so I have been doing some practice runs right now. I can log in on that character and show real quick. And I wanted to try to play with effectively what I am going to play. So I haven't been doing like Essence Drain Contagion or anything like that. I was just leveling with crossbows. Obviously there are speed leveling things you can do that might be better. And this is what I've been doing so far. I went down for Volatile Catalyst for AoE and cooldown recovery because I'm using a lot of grenades. I went for area of effect and damage with two-handed weapon, and obviously crossbow is the two-handed weapon. Down for Grenadier and then for Volatile Grenades. And honestly, there's going to be so many changes here, so I don't know if I'm going to start with going into the Deadeye area. There's obviously the very nice density of nodes that apply to us. And we are going to have like probably some totem nodes, some grenade nodes, some projectile nodes, and two-handed nodes, and a lot of area. I wasn't sure if I should make a video like this because there's so many unknowns, but I wanted to just express my ideas, and maybe it gives people like a, you know what, this sounds fun, I'm gonna follow along, and hopefully it goes well. I did artillery ballista like that this patch, and it ended up being one of the strongest builds, and got a lot of positive feedback on that. And artillery ballista was just a very fun like one button build to play. And I remember I was very unsure how it was gonna go, and then during the campaign I was like 2 or 3 shotting bosses, and I was like, this is great. So it did work really well, so I was very pleased with my PoE build so far. Either way, that's kind of all I've got for y'all. I wish I had more. Either way, hope you guys have a great launch. There's a Twitch drop campaign, so tune in. There's a gift campaign too. I'm obviously excited about that. But either way, hope you guys have a great start, great launch. Enjoy the new auction house. But more importantly, try to die less than I do.